Hi, today we'll be looking at another proven boardroom sales letter, once again written by Mel Martin, who's also known as the greatest fascination copywriter you've never heard of. So this was actually written in 1990, and it was the control until 1998. So what this means is that nobody else could beat it for 8 years. Even after Mel Martin had already passed away, this was still running and generating money and royalties for, I guess, his family. And all in all, the promotion itself in some shape or form ran for about 22 years. So again, think about this. We're analyzing proven ads that have been successful for 22 years straight. That's amazing. Like, think about it. Obviously, the internet, today's world is much faster paced, so no promotion can last that long because everything just changes so quickly. But even in those times, like making money with an offer on cold traffic for 22 years, that's pretty something. So whenever you get this and you try to toss it aside, like, I don't know, this doesn't seem interesting or something. This doesn't seem like a formula that I recently read about sales letters or something. Just know that this was a very, very strong offer for that very specific audience. And even today, if you're trying to sell a book, for example, or any type of information product which can use a lot of teasing, something like this would definitely work. Obviously, you would have to modify it a lot and add other elements because the marketplace is much more competitive nowadays, and people just buy differently online now. But it would still work, a lot of these things, especially the fascinations. And just like my other ad breakdown that I did a few days ago, Mel Martin's Book of Secrets, that was also mostly made up of fascinations, and this one is also like that. And I wanted to cover one more sales letter which is mainly sold through fascinations, because learning how to write effective and powerful and curiosity-inducing fascinations is one of the best skills you can have as a copywriter, because then you will never have to worry about writer's block once again, or blank page syndrome, or you never have to worry about how to find a good headline or how to start a lead for your sales letter, because you just write a bunch of these, you cut out the weak ones, you leave the stronger ones, the better ones, and then you'll be able to choose a headline from one of those. And it's quite easy to actually write these, because there are a few formulas out there that you can use, and then you just consume the product itself. Let's say you're selling a book, you read the book, and then whenever you find something that seems interesting to you, you just write a fascination around it. So you basically write a little teaser text to that specific idea, and this is super powerful. So let's look at the promotion itself. And this one also has information on how the letter itself looked, and this is the equivalent of this in today's world would be an email subject line, or a headline to a Facebook ad, or something like that, maybe a pre-head to a sales letter. So it said deeply and irrevocably personal, and this was extremely effective. Adding this to the sales letter itself, to an envelope. Imagine getting a blank white envelope like this, just with these texts. You would definitely open it because you'd be interested what's inside, and that's what you want with this. This is just like the subject line for an email. And then inside, we basically find a pretty straightforward headline by saying, and this is more of a direct offer, so there's no super secret story or something, or any of that. It's aimed at people who are definitely solution aware, in my opinion. So they know they have a problem, and they know that there are a few ways to solving it, but they don't know how exactly, or don't know who to call. Maybe they've talked with a few lawyers before, or a few companies that specialize in this thing, but nothing specific yet. So what nobody told you when you made your will. This is the headline. I think it's super effective because it's short, nobody told you, which implies a secret, and the target audience that this is written for are senior citizens who are most likely, especially in those times, conservative, and they have a fortune, they have money, they have property and investments and stuff like that, and they don't really trust Wall Street. They know that a lot of these institutions, especially in those times, are corrupt, and they don't want to lose their money. So it's all about preserving wealth. It's not about making money anymore, too much money, but it's all about preserving wealth for the family, for passing it down to their children, their spouses, stuff like that. And this just presupposes that, you made your will, but what if it's bad? What if it's like it's a backdoor to you actually losing a lot of money in the process? So we have a hero shot of the book itself, Encyclopedia of Estate Planning. We have a no questions asked money back guarantee. So once again, this is a very, very direct offer, and this is just there to like pump up the offer a bit. And then we have one of the best fascinations from the entire promotion, probably the most effective ones upfront, so that 20% of people are going to only read your entire sales letter, and like 80% of people will only read like the first few pages or like the first 500 words of your promotion. This is also called the lead, and they won't read the rest. And that's why it's so super important for the headline and for the lead itself to be eye-catching, to be interesting, to hook people in so that they read more. And the more they read, the higher your conversion rates. So we have like cool fascinations like how to hand down money to your heirs so creditors can't touch it. Assets that should never be mentioned in your will, never. Why couples who have signed joint wills should tear them up. So again, stuff that seem a bit counterintuitive to someone who's signed the will, and they're like, what? Nobody told me this. Or your big charity can be your relatives. Tax deductible if you use the right words. Okay, so what are the right words? And you see, it's all about teasing. It has in red font actually the page number where people can find this. So it's like little trailer messages. And if you're wondering like why so many fascinations, and the entire promotion is made up of fascinations, think about it. How exciting an encyclopedia of estate planning can be. How exciting can it be? It's not exciting at all. It's something super boring that involves lawyers and accountants and I don't know, attorneys or something like that. Nobody wants to like read this, but everybody feels that it's a pain point. So that's why by including a lot of fascinations, we can pump up the desire for it in people and pump up the curiosity. And you know what? For the target audience that we're having, they probably have millions of dollars that they're trying to protect. And this book costs $30. So it's kind of like a no-brainer offer. So it's no use to trying to oversell it with I don't know, pumped up super emotional copy or something. You just build a lot of curiosity, and then why not? So they have a 1 year money back guarantee, and it costs a fraction of something they spend on dinner sometimes. Okay, so it's just a no-brainer. Also, the salutation qualifies these people because it says dear business colleagues. So it assumes that the people we're targeting here are either businessmen or more richer men or women. So people who are probably senior citizens who have retired, who are trying to like pass their wealth down to successors. We immediately set expectations right in front of the ad itself. So if you have a family to protect, this could be the most eye-opening book about money you will ever read. So this is just like how Joseph Sugarman did with his Blue Blocker ad. So like, I'm gonna tell you a story that will change your mind or something. So it's incredible. It has the expectation setting part of reading this actually. Then we have a little trailer once again, and notice how basically everything is a bullet and a fascination here. Even if it's not in like bullet form, it's still a fascination, almost everything. So you have something like how to hand down anything you own to anyone you choose without interference from courts, creditors, relatives, or the IRS. So this target audience that we're having here, they want control. They want to have the control to decide how they want to pass over their money, what happens to it, and without interference with all these bureaucratic institutions or like people who are always after their money. So the target audience is definitely afraid of this. They definitely believe in certain conspiracies even, and how all these institutions are trying to rip them off, and they definitely want to like protect themselves and their freedom and their money, the money that they worked all like throughout their whole career to make. So we have preemptive objection handling elements as well. For example, how to beat the estate tax no matter how big your estate is. So because at this point, some people might think, yeah, but I have a big estate, so maybe this isn't for me because this is too simple of an information or something. But no, we immediately have a preemptive objection handling that this works for anybody regardless of their estate size, or even if it's not covered by marital deduction. So again, this is just qualification and objection handling. Make your estate smaller and your heirs richer. So basically, one of the key desires of this target audience is to make their heirs richer. They just want to pass on as much money as possible to the successors without paying a lot of tax on it. Then we have another preemptive objection handling in the form of perfectly legal methods. So at this point, some people might think, okay, well, this sounds interesting, but I don't know, this sounds also sketchy. So what if I get trouble with the law? What if this is illegal? But no, this is perfectly legal, so chill out. We also validate some of their beliefs. So again, this was Gene Schwartz's idea that you should never try to manufacture desires. You should always appeal to mass desires instead that people are already having. And we know that this target audience has the desire to pass on their money, and they have already existing beliefs like, Wall Street is trying to screw me over, Big Pharma is trying to screw me over, all the medical bills that I'm paying, probably someone's trying to screw me over, my lawyer is probably trying to screw me over, even my family is trying to screw me over. So there's a higher chance that they have these paranoid thoughts even. I'm not saying that's bad or anything, but good copy just taps into that and amplifies it. So the subheads themselves are also kind of fascinations. So basically everything is a fascination in this one, sprinkled in with like validated beliefs. So for example, like what accountants honestly don't dig deep enough to uncover. This again is probably a validated belief for this person, because our target audience, because they're thinking, yeah, I mean, I'm paying all that money for my accountant, but they're idiots, they don't know what they're doing. And I knew it. I knew that they don't dig enough to uncover this. And now I can get, the solution to my problem from this little book for $30. Sure, count me in. Then we have a bunch of very nice fascinations here as well. And then we have kind of like a unique selling proposition for the product. So it says this product is monumental, loaded with useful ideas, and a lot easier to read than the word encyclopedia suggests. So monumental is definitely a benefit in those days, because remember, we are talking pre-Google days. And in those times, it was definitely worth it to have a thick book on stuff like this. Today, maybe not so much, because you can just Google anything and people have information overload. So their challenge is to actually find the right information and how to cut out all the fluff. But also we have an objection handling by saying, and it's a lot easier to read than the word encyclopedia suggests. So again, this is because most of these people, they probably went to college. They are educated people in most cases. They've read encyclopedias in the past and a lot of big books, and they know how much work it means to get through this. So again, we're just positioning this whole offer as something easy to do, and it's kind of like a shortcut, and everybody wants shortcuts, especially when you don't have much time because you're at the end of your life. Then we have some credibility. We mentioned how, who wrote this book basically. Robert Holtzman. He's an expert of experts, and he does this and he does that. Some proof elements, not too much. So compared to like Gary Bencivenga's copy, who always uses a lot of proof elements, and it's different than this. There's not much proof elements here, but this one is all about the curiosity, all about fascinations. Then we also have stuff like what to change while you still can. Again, this is, I think, a very strong potential pain point in our target audience, because they're thinking, okay, so I signed my will, but can I change it now? So I just discovered that there's this whole big problem that I haven't even thought about. Can I change it now? Then a bunch of other fascinations, and I really like this bullet here, how you can accidentally disinherit your children by writing a will the way your parents did. Page 263. Wow, how can you not? It's really something that makes people go, what? And that's what you want. When joint ownership is the wrong choice, again, it may be a big potential pain point for people. How to leave money to grow children when you're not sure you can trust people you're married to. So this is raw. This is like a gut punch for people. And again, it probably goes back to this won't work for everybody, this bullet. So if someone's happily married, they'll just skim through it immediately because it's not relevant to them. But think about all the people in our target audience who are not happily married, who don't really trust their spouse. There's a lot of those. And for them, this just validates their pre-existing beliefs again by saying, they start thinking, I knew it. I knew that, I can't trust them. How the liberalized new estate tax rules can boomerang if you take them at face value. So again, this is something that our target audience hates, and they don't like liberalized stuff in most cases, because what research usually shows, and this again maybe not be so much the case nowadays, but back in the days definitely, and even today, according to research, is that as people get older, usually they get more conservative because they have their pre-existing beliefs about the world, and it's getting harder and harder for them to change it. They're not really that open anymore to new stuff that just kills everything from the past and tries to re-educate them into something. They don't want to do it anymore. So chances are they're usually Republicans. Obviously not everybody, and even if they're Democrats, they're more probably conservative leaning here. And what research shows, and what a lot of financial copywriters know, is that they're writing to a target audience with a target avatar who's called Grandpa Rick, for example. Agora uses this, Agora Financial, and they're one of the biggest financial direct response companies out there who market almost exclusively to these people. And Grandpa Rick is usually a little bit paranoid, and he hates liberals usually, or he hates governments that try to tax him too much or something. So again, this is very subtle, but it definitely something that validates their pre-existing beliefs. Times when it's smart to question your accountant's advice. I like this bullet because it flips expectations on their head. So most people think like, okay, so my accountant is supposed to be an expert, but what? Maybe there are some times when I cannot trust him. Again, I knew it that they're up to something. Or I also like this, new rules make it wise to leave everything to your spouse, right? Wrong. Leaving her less can be even smarter. This flips expectations once again. How dying in the wrong state can result in loss of entire marital deduction. This is a big fear that they have. And I also, I like this because it qualifies even more people at this point. Estate planning for the widowed, single, and divorced. How to protect your heirs in case you die too rich too soon. Pages and a bunch of pages. This is a very, very strong bullet. One of my favorites here. My favorite is actually a little bit later on, but this is one of my favorites because it just qualifies people, and it's very powerful and emotional. I love it. Then we have an amazing promise. We're getting ready to wrap up the promotion at this point, so we got to make a promise as well. So the promise goes, a choice of perfectly legal ways to leave no estate at all, just prosperous, untaxed heirs. So this is what actually people want. And then we follow up with a bunch of extra fascinations. Then there's this big part here, which basically, again, tease is something that you should have in your envelope. So very short letter in sealed envelope attached to your will could be most important letter you ever write. What can it be? What's the secret? What should I include? I didn't include something like this in my original will, so how can I add it to it? How to provide for a spendthrift child. Again, a big pain point for some of our target audience. They're most likely rich people who have spoiled kids in some cases, and then they still love them, so they still want to give them money, but this is a big pain point for them. Or warning, free IRS estate tax advice could turn out to be most expensive advice you ever get. This, again, validates their fear. I knew it. I knew that the IRS is trying to screw me and the free advice that they give is worthless. How to protect a gullible spouse. Again, a gut punch. Some of people, especially men in our target audience, and think about it, we're talking 1990s, it's still, I would suggest that the biggest percentage of people in our target audience are usually like rich men, and some of them, they're narcissistic, they're people who look, I wouldn't say look down on their spouses, but they don't think that they're as intelligent as they are. And this is a great example, by the way, of how good and effective copywriting, even though it might be politically incorrect, it speaks to real raw emotions. And if this is what the target audience feels deep down, then this is what you have to tell them, because this is what actually makes them buy, and this is how they vote with their credit cards. And they voted with their credit cards for 22 years for this promotion. So obviously it worked, even though it might be politically incorrect. How to do as you see fit with your money forever. Again, one of their biggest desires. And this is my favorite fascination in this promotion. How to fight the IRS after you're gone and win. For action to take now, so everything is in place later if IRS overvalues your estate, see page 239. So again, how to fight the IRS after you're gone and win. This is for people who are vengeful, who are like, I hate the IRS. They took so much money from me. I could have made millions of dollars more if it weren't for the IRS. And what are they using that money for, huh? I'm not saying they're right, but this is what they're thinking. And then they're gonna be like, okay, so even if I die, I'm gonna have the last word. That's what you're doing here. I'm gonna have the last word. This is what they're feeling, and this is why this bullet is super effective. And chances are, it's no wonder why it's under this big part at the end of the page. You just want to knock people off the fence with this, and I think it's super effective. Also, this part, like very close to the order form. If you don't take action now, the government will later. So, such an extremely powerful urgency element here, and it's super logical. That's why it's so powerful. You're not saying, well, we only have 1,000 books on stock, and if you don't buy now, you might not get yours or something. No, you say, yeah, sure, you can procrastinate if you want, but then the government will gonna come after you, and you won't like it. And this just motivates people to do it, believe me. Also, another type of they're coming to get you type of bullet, what not to put in your writing to executor. Could boomerang later when IRS uses your words to prove their case for bigger taxes from your estate. Again, they're trying to screw me. I have to protect myself. And it's only $30. Like regularly it would be $50, but an executive discount price, and I feel like an executive, so this just connects with me. And there's a money back guarantee, like a 1-year money back guarantee, so there's no risk for me. Why not? I have to take this. And I like this little creative name here. Instead of saying order form or something, it says executive discount reservation form. So it's something that flips the script, and it doesn't seem so aggressively salesy. And yeah, I like it. And then we have like a little call to action, which is angled from the target audience's point of view. So it says, yes, please send me X copies of the Encyclopedia of Estate Planning at a special discount price of $29.95, and then stuff like that. So yeah, really powerful. After it, we have a proof element, so basically like a testimonial, and we have an extra bonus as well. So living trust and serious illness. This is definitely a good bonus that probably complements the main offer hand in hand, because a lot of these people might have illnesses, and this is a big pain point for them as well. So by giving them more info on this big pain point, they're getting more value from the whole package. And if they get their special report and they reply within 10 days, they are also going to get this for free. So it's like a knock 'em off the fence bonus as well. So yeah, that's it for this one. Hope you enjoyed it. The next few videos, probably I'm gonna look at some more modern promotions as well, because some people can definitely relate to those much more easily. And I'm also going to look at more lead structures, the stuff that comes after the sales, after this headline, because that's one of the most important parts of any sales message. But I just wanted to cover these fascination type of promotions one more time, because you can just save it for your reference, and whenever you have to tease something later on in the copy, and it's very important to tease, believe me, then you can use this as a reference and model some of your bullets after these as well. So hope you enjoyed this one. Like the video if you did, because that helps me out tremendously. That's what the algorithm wants after all. Also leave a comment with your #1 takeaway from this video, and stay tuned for the next one, because I'm gonna keep doing these for quite a while. So thanks again. Have a nice day.